Hey, hello everyone. I was thinking, right now I'm on the tail end of rebuilding all the PCs of my home. So I figured maybe you guys might be interested in the tail end of these builds, which is kind of like the older retro stuff, that nobody really covers anymore. Because you can go on YouTube and look at the content creators, all the modern CPUs. But what I'm doing right now is I'm rebuilding all my old school computers that I got around the house, and I bought a bunch of old school computers as well. That's kind of like a little hobby that I do. So I figure I just recorded. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you guys are interested in it, and don't get triggered. But I'm going to speak a little bit of Spanglish and Spanish because some of my friends and family are in Nicaragua. So I'll throw in a little Spanish in the video, which is kind of weird because I noticed like officially most content creators don't speak bilingual, so I don't know if anyone's going to get triggered or not, so please don't get triggered. I figure, I mean, I don't even know if anyone is interested in watching these videos, so, but if you are, just keep aware that I'm going to speak in Spanglish, English and Espanol, Nicaraguan style, and what else? Yeah, and the way I build computers is not like is not really traditional orthodox. I do a little bit kind of like my own thing. So, like for example, the cords. The cords I'll leave it outside of the case, and everybody gets triggered if you everybody gets triggered if you leave the connector out here. You know what I mean? If you leave the connector out here, right? I notice like everybody gets triggered about that, but bro, it's you do you. I mean, I'm not selling the computer. It's not about aesthetics, but I just find it more convenient for me to. Well, actually, like I say, I mean, I'll tell you what I do. So don't be surprised and don't be triggered because the way I build a computer for my house is different. I do it my way. Why? Because I'm me, right? I'm Sam. So it's not it's I mean, when you're doing your own PC build, I mean, you just see the content creators as a template, but really it's your own computer and you do whatever you want. It could be because of aesthetics. It could be because of practicality. Could be a variety of reasons. All right. So just to give you an idea, I'll have to. I don't know if it matters, but I'm gonna stop the recording and then move stuff around, and I'll add the recording, and then I'll add the clips together in Sony Vegas, and I'll make it one video. So I don't know how you guys see that in YouTube, but to make it easier. Okay, so this is the very first recording, and then I'll have to stop it to move parts around, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I don't know, so don't get triggered about that. Anyway, right now I want to showcase this particular build. One of my it's really actually the oldest desktop build I got, which is this one. Hold on, let me see. Let me make sure we're still recording. Yes, we are. Okay, I'm recording with my smartphone, so please forgive me. And I don't have a microphone right now, so we're using the microphone of the smartphone, and obviously it's not gonna sound as well. So please forgive that as well. I gotta buy a wireless mic, but I haven't done that yet. Okay, so on this particular build, we're doing an ensemble. So this this is is a case that you know, that's another reason I wanted to do the video, because this case is very rare on YouTube channels all over the world. This is something called the Cougar PC cases. They make a bunch of PC cases, right? Well, anyway, for me anyway, I like two particular PC cases, old school, and that's the Cougar MX330-G. This is the old school version, and I also have, I'm going to show you a little bit later, the Pro version. So there's two. Cougar MX330-G, old school, and then the second revision recently came out like a year ago, is MX330-G Pro, and it's a little bit bigger, and it's actually totally different, more to modern standards. So I'm going to showcase the original version. So this is kind of like 8 years ago, I think, right? Maybe about 8. I can't remember now. Time flies. I've been rebuilding my computers about 10 years now, so time is flying. So this is the MX330-G original, and it has the optional tempered glass case. I'll show you that in a bit, but it's nothing special. So normally what I do, like I say, I mean, I'm weird. Okay, normally what I do when I buy a PC case, I strip it all down to the chassis, and then I wash it either in the bathtub or outside, depending on the season. I live in Chicago, so in the summer I'll take it outside and wash it. In wintertime I'll put it in the bathtub and wash it, right? So in this case, since it's October, I strip it and I wash it in the bathtub. So normally PC cases have the fans already pre-wired, and there might be the RGB hub in the back, you know. But in this one, it was just the fans, right? So I stripped the fans out, and I took the hardware cage out. I wash it. I dry it overnight. I wipe it down, right? What I do is I wash it, hot soap and water, wash it down in the bathtub, and then dry it with you know, towels. With towels, and then I put it on a table, and I usually hit an oscillating fan, you know, either Sankey or Laxo fan, and then just let it dry overnight. Make sure it doesn't, you know, the way you want to do that right away, because, you know, if you don't do that, you let the water settle, it might cause rust, you know. So we don't want that, of course. And if it's summertime, all you have to do is just put this outside on a table in the backyard and let the sun hit it, and it'll dry. Even without a fan, it'll dry pretty fast without rust. So just depends where you are on the world, right? So on this case, I don't know if you guys know, and nobody really talks about it on YouTube, so I'm going to try to bring up stuff that nobody talks about, right? So when you modify, I like to modify a case for the particular build I build. So usually I cut the bars, especially if you're using these old cases. You want to cut these stupid little bars off. Now, if you're, I notice like a bunch of modern cases, this is all empty. But if you're using an older case, they're still using these bars. So even if you break these tabs, it's still no good. You got to break the bars off. And what I use is pliers. You know, what I use is like pliers or sheet metal pliers. Or if you want to be fancy, you can use a Dremel, what they call a rotary tool with a wheel cutter, either electric, or you can take it to the garage. I don't know if you guys have an air compressor. You can use a rotary tool on an air compressor with an air line, air powered, or electric, and then you take your little flywheel and you cut all the bars off. I usually cut at least the first one, right? So you gotta look at your video card too. You gotta look at your motherboard and you gotta look at your video card. So I'll give you an example. Normally, on most modern motherboards, the video card is on the second slot or the first. So I don't know. Nobody, like I say, all this stuff I'm telling you, nobody talks about. So I'm gonna try to bring up stuff that nobody talks about. So when you buy your case and you buy your motherboard, on this example, the video card is going to be in slot 3 and 4. You know, slot 3 and 4. And I don't know about you guys, I prefer full-size ATX boards if I can get them, because it just looks better, right? So 1, 2, right? 1, 2, and this one is normally you would use that for the Wi-Fi card, right? Right, Wi-Fi card. I'll give you an example of that. Okay, so on your board, Wi-Fi card, right? So you put it on slot 1 or 2. So normally the video card is either on slot 1, and I guess I should show you a video card, right? I'm assuming, you know, that maybe you want to know. So normally, on modern motherboards, you have the video card on slot 1 or slot 2, usually, right? It's either slot 1 or slot 2, usually. But in this one, it's kind of weird. This is not normal. You have the video card on slot 3, right? Okay, so once you establish that, it's pretty universal on all video cards that the first, right, because usually video card is 2 slots. 2 slots, and I'll show you an example. I guess I should show you an example. Okay, for video games. Okay, so for video games, usually the video cards are 2 slot. But like, you know, if you're trying to build a low spec computer, you know, I think this is more, you use these cards most particularly to troubleshoot here in the, you know, in the Western countries. But like if you're in developing countries in the third world, then this is actually more practical, because like I say, I don't know if you guys know, but in the most of the world, these kind of cards are very hard to find, or they're way overpriced. So what you gotta do is use a bus bar card. So single slot or dual slot, you're gonna notice that the slots where you plug in is always going to be in the first slot. So that's what I do. So when you look at the what I recommend is you look at your case, and if it's this old school style, you want to use your either pliers or wheel cutter and cut off the bars so that the video card is not blocked. Okay, so what I'm talking about is, for example, if this is in slot, right, slot 1. So if it's in slot 1, you can see that the way the cards are designed, which is kind of bogus, but the video plug is too far. It's to the extreme of the video card. Preferably, you know, I think everybody would like it somewhere in the middle, but they don't. That's not how they do it. So it is what it is, I guess. So if you put the screws, you're gonna notice that this video slot is too close to the case. So if you know that the motherboard you're using, the video card you're using is going to be in slot 1, you actually have to use your Dremel tool and cut off right here. Right? So you're going to grab your pliers. I use my baby pliers, and then I grab the case and I bend it where those video inputs and outputs are. And the reason is, right? Let me see. Put this back, right? And the reason is, if you bend it back, bend it out, basically bend it back and out. Now the video cable, which has a plastic head on it, you can fully plug it in, which is what you want, right? I mean, it's kind of stupid but that's where we are in the PC space. It's been like that forever. Nobody says anything, so I don't know. It is what it is. So that's what I recommend you do. Nobody talks about it, so I'm going to bring up those subjects that nobody talks about. Okay, so you can bend it back, and you want to do that right now when it's like brand new case or old case. You pull it out, strip it out, and then you cut your bars, cut the bars, and then at least the first bar you want to cut off, and then like maybe cut the rest of the bars. If you got some more things, but usually I cut the first bar. That's usually what I do. I automatically cut the first bar off, and on this case, I hit the wheel right here in this corner, and I cut this part off too. That way it's kind of like you can use just in case the video card is going to be the first slot. Same thing with even something like this, like a simple bus bar card. Bus bar. The case might be blocking the plastic head for fully inserting, so you still might want to like cut this out. So this might not be a problem for newer cases. I think some of the newer cases, the case designers, this part is already cut out for you. So, but yeah, if you're working on older computers and older cases, strip it out and then use your machine, drill it out, cut it out, wash it again. Make sure you get those metal burrs out. Hit it wash it all out again. And then make sure you air dry it right away with a fan, like I told you. Wipe it down. Wipe the case down really quick with a nice towel. Put it on a table, hit it with a fan, and it'll dry, overnight, depending on the temperature. So, okay, so what else? So that's it, right? That's the only mods. That's the only modification I did here is cut the bars, and on my video card, it's going to be in the third slot, so there's no reason for me to cut this out. So, but I'm just saying, like, on other motherboards, you might have to do that. So look at your motherboard, look where the video card slot is. If it's going to be in slot 1, you got to do this. If it's going to be in slot 2, then don't worry about it. If it's on slot 3, then cut more of these bars off, okay? So I think that's the only thing I can think of on mods. All right, let me think. What else can we talk about? So like I said, on this case, it comes with 2 fans. I think it comes with 2 fans and possibly a fan in the back. So I took all those 3 fans off, and then I took the cover off. And oh yeah, that's another thing I want to show you. Okay, so on this one, on this old school case, it doesn't have that hole right here, right? So when you do a video card, when you do a video card, on this old school case, instead of using this hole right here, since there's no hole right here, and it's not perforated, so from the power supply, you got to run your video card either right here through the bottom, or the option would be through here. video card through this hole or through this hole. Not this hole, because usually your video card is going to cover, your motherboard is going to cover these holes. It's just a coincidence. I got a real old school motherboard, so it only comes up to a little bit over 2.5, whatever. But usually on most boards it goes 1, 2, 3, right? So all these holes are going to be covered, unless you're using a special stripped down MATX or ITX. It's going to be up here. So usually these holes are not available for you. So video card is going to be right here, you know, and then you turn it like that, right? And then the second slot would be for your 24 pin, right? Right? You see that? 24 pin here, video card pin here. And then for the CPU, the cutout is right up here. On most modern computers, you can do it here, and there's a hole over here, but on this one it's a little bit, like I say, it's very, this is like 8 years old, so it's a lot more limited. So you got only one hole here, but on modern cases, you'll have this whole top part will be a bunch of holes, or just be all cut out. So just want to let you know. I'll even show you on the 330 Pro the updates they did, that the Cougar designed a Pro more in line with modern cases. And see, in the old school, this is closed off, and on most cases this has a bunch of holes. It's perforated, and this part right here is cut out. And on this one, which is more traditional old school, it's closed off. They don't make that hole for you here. So what else is different? Yeah, the dimension of the case, the chassis is a little bit smaller than the Pro version. So if you want something small, I guess you have to go with this size. And you got the old school. You have to deal with the old school layout, because that's the only thing. That's another drawback. If you want the Pro version, the case is a little bit taller, and it's a little bit you know, wider and a little bit taller. Okay, make sure we're still recording. Okay. So what else can I tell you about the case? So you saw that, right? The back, I already showed you the back, right? Power supply. Modify this. Motherboard goes here. 120 goes here. The raised carries fan. Top, very simple. 2 120s if you want to use it. What else? In the back, nice and simple. Make sure you buy zip ties so you can zip tie the back, or string. Zip ties, string. And the power supply goes here, right? So the power supply goes up to here. So this is the little space you got for the wires. This is kind of interesting. Even though this computer is really old, this is kind of like a premium, because I don't know why, but most computers, they don't want to give you these nice sleds like a server, which is kind of convenient, because you put your 3.5 hard drive in here, right? You snap it in, and then you can put the screws, these 4 screws, or the screws on the side, right? So that's kind of neat. They added this, because I just noticed that on the Pro, they don't give you these nice sleds. It's a really basic little cage, and you're supposed to. There's no sliding in with there's no slides in that one, so there's no sleds. There's the little filter, right, for the power supply in the bottom. What else is different? And yeah, of course, the metal is nice and light. So yeah, it feels kind of like flimsy, but it's good enough, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's not a high quality case, but at the same time, it's really all you need. Just, you know, make sure you take care of it. You don't try to flex it or anything, but I kind of like it because even when you put all the components in here, you lift it off the table, it's still manageable to pick it up, right? So this is where you're going to put the two fans, right? You can, here's the fans, right? So just to give you an idea, right, there's the holes for the wires. You're going to put one right here, and you're going to put the second one right here. You can't put a third one because I usually like to use these cases with the DVD drive. So I'll put the DVD drive in here, and then two case fans that blows into the case. On this particular model, there's no provision to put a fan on the bottom, so the fan will not be blowing across the hard drives of the power supply. On some other cases, you can do that. You can have like a case fan down here, a second one here, and a third one here. But on this particular one, there's no case fan that's going to blow on the bottom. It's just going to be blowing into the main compartment for the video card and the CPU. Is that all? Oh yeah. Let me show you the front. Let me show you the front of the front face. So here's the front face of the case. So this is the right. So this is the very old school traditional front fascia on a lot of like on this one, which is really annoying because see they put the wires are attached to the front fascia face. So you'll see this on like a lot of OEM computers and some old-fashioned OEM computers. OEM computers and custom cases have this really pain in the butt way of doing it. So why is it a pain in the butt? Because like I say, you install your two fans, right, and then you're going to run these wires, right? You're going to run the wires there, and then you're going to snap on the case. But now the problem is, like, what if one of the fans becomes disabled, and you got to pop off the front plate to replace the fans that are right here, and that's what the problem becomes because. You know, you gotta hope that these cables have a little bit of slack so that you can pop off the plate and then like lay it off to the side so you can get access, you know, with your screwdriver and unscrew the screws. So that's kind of like a pain in the butt. So normally now. They put this head right here. They usually attach it to the top of the case right here, or they attach it here to either here on the top over here, or on the bottom, and then this face plate is separate, and you can just pop it off. The Pro has it like that, so I'll show you that that version. So. Just keep that in mind, you know, if that's a problem for you. In a way, it's not too much a problem because look, they give you pretty much the length of these cables are pretty long, so you should be okay to like pop it off a little bit and just rotate the plate so you can get access to the fans. And another thing I would recommend, what I did was. You know, bend these tabs and then remove the filter that's here because these filters, I don't know, they don't convince me that they really filter really good. You know, I don't know about you, but most of my computers don't really get dirty, so I don't know, maybe just my house is not really not really dusty, so you know, even after a couple of years, you know, there's not really much dust in my cases, so I don't know what's going on like some other homes. you know, that you got all this dust going on. But then again, I really don't put, I almost never put my computers on the floor. They're either on a table or above the table on a shelf. So maybe that makes a difference. But I recommend that you bend these tabs and you remove the filter and then you put back the grill. The grill is enough. For me, I think the grill's enough, and just forget that filter that's on there. You know, because it's just going to restrict airflow, especially if you're using case fans that are kind of cheap and they don't push a lot of air. They don't push a lot of air anyways, and then you got that air filter that's going to restrict the air. So I would recommend just remove the air filter, use the grill, and use the fan without the air filter, so that you get the maximum amount of air blowing into the case to cool down the video card and the CPU. Okay, I think that's it for I think that's it for this segment. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this segment. I just show you the case. That's pretty much it. And there's a glass pane, 4 screws, and a simple cover. And that's it. Okay, so I'm going to stop this clip and then I'll move on to I'll show you maybe the motherboard next. Bye.